Thanks for joining us. I'm Kendria LaFleur. A second coronavirus-related death has been reported in the state. The governor's office announced the person was from Orleans Parish and had underlying medical conditions. The Department of Health confirmed there are now 103 cases of COVID-19 in the state. The CDC is no longer requiring Louisiana to get a second confirmation on positive cases. According to the Department of Health, the CDC says the tests have proven to be reliable. So far, more than 200 people have been tested.
We believe that we will have our first presumptive positive case and likely a significant number of additional cases to manage.
Lafayette Mayor President Josh Guillory says while there are no confirmed cases of coronavirus in the city, that could change in the next few days. Guillory making that announcement in a press conference today. Tests have been short in supply, but officials say they do have some pending now. And while waiting for the official confirmation, city and health officials are creating ways to prevent the virus from spreading.
I understand that testing is occurring as we speak. We have individuals for whom we've submitted tests, so that number could change.
And with the increase in testing, officials say we should see an increase in confirmed cases here. So they're already making plans to increase testing sites.
Our goal is to have a site in Youngsville, Broussard, Karen Crow, the city of Lafayette, with a makeshift clinic available in Scott should we need it. We have additional resources in Scott.
Guillory says they're working with Lafayette General, Lord's Hospital, and ER facilities to staff those potential sites by the end of this week. Meanwhile, all LCG buildings will be closed to the public and media outlets, including meetings. But Guillory says public comment is still encouraged.
We are working with both our legal department and our IT department to make sure that we adhere to public comment, that requirement. So as of right now, we're going to use technology to allow for public comment on introductory ordinances, and ordinances or actions that the councils have to vote on.
Guillory also commenting on Festival International. Questions surround on how the pandemic will impact the event.
Working very hard and doing every single thing that we can to make sure Festival comes to Lafayette. It would be great to be able to do that. I'm going to tell you, every day that goes by, every briefing that we get that goes by, it's looking more and more likely that it's not going to happen, in full candor. But I also want the public to know that we are working with Festival International to see what we can do.
And as we mentioned, LCG buildings will be closed to the public. That includes City Hall and libraries. Drive-through services will be provided for those. The parish courthouse will also have limited access for the public. Chris Welty continues our team coverage. He joins us live in the studio. And Chris, what are residents saying about these changes?
Kendria, those I talked to say, though these are tough decisions our leaders are making, it's the right call.
Y'all thought it was a game.
Mika Caesar's big personality will not only make you smile, but dance. Weekly, she serves up the $5 box at CTM Crawfish.
We sell out every day. Every day we sell out. We stay pretty busy.
It's a family affair, boiling and partying, trying to keep a sense of normalcy amid the coronavirus scare.
We make sure we're sanitizing, we're washing hands, we pick it up hot and fresh out the water, we bag it up, we seal it up, and we get it out to you.
If you are sick or if you're feeling ill, just stay at home, quarantine. You know, we don't need, make sure you wash your hands 20 seconds, that's all it takes. By the time you say your ABCs, you're done. Just as long as we can contain it and keep it under control.
CTM Crawfish hasn't seen a decline in business. They're thankful the community is still supporting them through this pandemic.
We support others, they support us, and we're just trying to keep it going.
The Caesars know people are worried about their jobs and how life will continue as COVID-19 continues to evolve.
I think they're doing the right thing about shutting things down to contain the virus, so everybody, just extra precautions, just so it don't be large amount of crowds, because it's spreading like wildfire, and we all trying to, stay safe out here.
At this time, there's no curfews or mandates for restaurants or other businesses to adjust their hours of operations here in Acadiana. Live in the studio, Chris Welty, KATC TV3.
And with many closures happening across the state and nation, health officials say this is a significant way to prevent the virus from spreading. Rob Perillo continues our team coverage and has more on how social distancing can save lives. Rob.
Well, we've heard a lot about flattening the curve with respect to the COVID virus, so we're going to try to talk a little bit about the math and what the curve is all about. So what we have plotted up here, number of cases going up and the time since the first case in the United States. Now, this yellow line is the healthcare system capacity, the number of beds in hospitals, the number of ventilators available. Now, if we're attending large gatherings and there's no social distancing, and this is all about the concept of social distancing and avoiding the healthcare system being overloaded, and we don't wash our hands and take precautions, we're going to see that curve rise on the number of cases dramatically in the weeks ahead, and perhaps past the point where we can have our healthcare system, our doctors and nurses, take care of the situation. So that's why social distancing, and we have all these large events being canceled. What we want to do is flatten the curve so we don't go past what the healthcare system capacity can handle. May last longer, but this will actually give us a fighting chance to keep people from being in that critical stage above the healthcare system capacity line. So that means avoiding large events and gatherings, social distancing, as we've talked about, and of course taking the proper precautions, washing hands and sanitizing your hands as well. So that's the whole idea behind flattening the curve. The bottom line, though, as we go back to this graph, we still don't know how steep this is. Even though we have a number of confirmed cases, we've had limited testing. So the numbers could be factors much higher on the number of cases currently of coronavirus in the United States. So something that we're watching closely, and this is why we want to flatten the curve, and we want to avoid large crowds and practice that social distancing. But just like driving, you don't get in your car and worry about getting into a wreck. You want to have a semblance of some life, and you want to get out and drive the car, but just be very, very cautious when you're out amongst crowds at this point.
All right, thank you, Rob. Well, 1,400 public schools across the state will be closed tomorrow. That affects more than 700,000 students. Lafayette Parish school workers are preparing meals for families who rely on school breakfast and lunch. 2 meals will be given to any student in the parish in need of food. However, they must be there to pick it up. That starts Tuesday, then will continue weekly Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 1. The pickup locations will be at 14 schools. We have that list on our website at katc.com. And 3 St. Landry Parish schools will also prepare to distribute lunches for the students while schools are closed. School officials are asking for volunteers to help. Opelousas Junior High School, Lawtell Elementary School, and Central Middle School in Eunice will serve lunches between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. each weekday starting tomorrow. New Orleans Mayor Latoya Cantrell says the coronavirus cases are increasing by the hour. According to doctors, it's spreading faster in New Orleans than most cities in the U.S. The mayor says because the tests were so slowly given out, they've called upon federal help. 4 cities in Orleans Parish will soon set up drive-through testing points. And the city is taking social distancing seriously. Police swept through Bourbon Street last night to enforce the ban. The Department of Health has launched an interactive dashboard for tracking COVID-19 in Louisiana. This new dashboard includes a heat map along with a breakdown of positive cases by parish. The dashboard will display results as considered positive instead of presumptive positive. To see the latest updates on the virus, visit our website at katc.com/coronavirus.